Among the various archetypes that our minds and spirits reflect, the Fool archetype is the least clear and the most mysterious. The Fool, Trickster and Joker archetypes share the same essence and play a crucial role in personal transformation. If you aim to alter your life or yourself, you must grasp the ways of the Fool, the Trickster, or the Joker. These names essentially describe the identical concept. Now let's get into what exactly the Fool is. This character, though we might label it as foolish, embodies unpredictability, unconventional thinking, and above all, creativity. You could even say the Fool possesses a kind of wisdom, but here's the catch. This wisdom doesn't come from experience or conscious knowledge. It springs from the depths of the unconscious mind, guided by intuition. This wisdom often reveals itself through the Fool's seemingly accidental actions. It might appear as though the Fool is manipulating situations or trying to gain an advantage, but more often than not, these actions are spontaneous and improvised on the spot. So while the Fool is undeniably wise, they themselves may not understand the source or how to use this wisdom effectively in their life. That's why we sometimes refer to such individuals as the Fool. Essentially, the Fool archetype is a shared pattern of behavior. He comes in with a burst of energy, giving us strong wake-up calls as individuals and for our entire culture. He intervenes and highlights our mistakes, urging our culture to recognize its foolishness. The Fool's playful and irreverent spirit often sparks inventive thinking, offering a unique perspective that can lead to creative breakthroughs and transformative insights. The Fool is a lot like that cheeky friend who reminds us that life is a big, flexible play. We don't have to stick to the script. We can be spontaneous and even find humor in our mistakes. It's all about being true to ourselves, not just wearing masks to impress others. The Fool questions authority, challenges rules, and encourages us to be authentic, creative, and playful. With clever humor, he draws attention to important issues, revealing hidden problems in society for everyone to see. When an individual is inspired to embody this pattern and make a difference in the world by bringing about change in society or their environment, it's important to understand that archetypes also have a significant impact on our personal and individual minds and psyches. Archetypes are like powerful blueprints for human behavior and thought. They're not just stories or ideas, they're deeply ingrained patterns that influence how we act, think, and even dream. The Fool archetype encourages us to challenge the norm, to be unconventional, and to stir things up to bring about change. Now, these archetypes don't just stay out there in the world. They also work their magic within us. They shape our personal beliefs, values, and actions. So when someone feels the call of the Fool and decides to challenge the status quo, they're not just changing society, they're also transforming themselves. So imagine what would happen if you decided to act like the Fool, becoming the embodiment of the Fool itself. It means you'd start doing things that are quite different from your usual self. For instance, if you're typically shy and introverted, the Fool would encourage you to be more outgoing and extroverted. It's like rebelling against your old ways, the habits you're used to, and even how you react to situations. This might sound risky and foolish because, let's say, you're someone who likes to be organized and follow a strict schedule. But if the Fool takes over or expresses itself through you, you might find chaos and disorganization surprisingly comfortable. You might start arriving late to meetings or not finishing your work on time because you're drawn into this new way of doing things that's quite the opposite of what you're used to. You might wonder, why on earth would I want to do that? Why let this crazy archetype take control of my life or push me into potentially self-destructive ways of living when everything I have now feels comfortable and right? Well, It all depends on your goals and what you want to achieve. For some people, yes, the Fool can seem destructive, but for others, this archetype can be highly beneficial. However, sometimes it's not entirely up to us whether this archetype emerges in our behavior. Our minds are wired for self-preservation, meaning they're motivated to ensure our survival. So if your mind decides that it would be beneficial for you to start behaving like the Fool and let this archetype influence your life, that's what's going to happen. On the flip side, you can choose to resist this urge and keep these feelings, desires, and impulses bottled up, not allowing them to come out. But there can be consequences down the road. The more you suppress these inner drives, the more your subconscious mind will push them towards your conscious mind, trying to break free. In some cases, this repression can lead to deep depression because you've locked away so much of your natural and often impulsive desires that it takes a lot of energy just to maintain this barrier between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. So, if you ever feel like you're stuck in a rut, bored, or that your life lacks meaning, embracing the Fool archetype can be a game changer. It means rebelling against everything that makes you feel comfortable and perhaps doing the exact opposite of what you're used to. This can introduce new motivations for action, open up fresh opportunities, and transform you into a very different person. When you're willing to embrace the opposite of what you're accustomed to, it can lead to exciting personal growth and transformation. When you're ready to embrace the complete opposite of what you're used to, or even challenge who you believe you are, that's precisely when you open the door to learning new things about yourself and the world. You can acquire new skills and figure out how to handle entirely new situations. This is incredibly beneficial for your personal growth and your body because it makes you more adaptable to unfamiliar circumstances. Think of your mind like a toolbox. Embracing change is like adding new tools and techniques to it. It's akin to discovering new ways to tackle challenges in the world, helping you navigate various situations and adapt to the unfamiliar. So that's today's brief explanation of the Fool archetype and how it affects our psychology and behavior. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. And if you enjoy my content, please share and subscribe.